We're back again at Blue Bears, but it's been a while since we shot our last video interview for our Hearts in Action initiative. We were highlighting organizations who are doing really good work in the special needs and elder care space. But I'm really glad we held out for this interview of what I call a hidden gem, the Somerset Hills Learning Institute. Happened to just chance upon it as I was talking to a client of ours and we were mentioning our initiative, and she said, "Have you heard about the Somerset Hills Learning Institute?" And she immediately put me in touch with Tara. Tara Ferrigno is the Director of Strategic Initiatives and Communication at the Institute. My conversation with her just blew me away. This institute refers to itself on the website as a dissemination site of the Princeton Child Development Institute, and it offers science-based treatment and education for children with autism. This institute is also part of the ASAI, which I did not know, and Tara educated me on this. It's the Alliance for Scientific Autism Intervention. Apparently, acceptance into this is the gold standard in practicing. These children get personalized treatment, and as their website puts it, life-changing treatment methods are applied. What sets Somerset Hills Institute apart from the rest is that their treatment methods actually involve a lot of home-based training where parents and family members of the children are being educated and trained, because as Tara puts it, 20% of the education happens in school, but the rest of it is happening at home. So as you can see, I'm gushing about this institute, and I hope by the end of this interview, you will be as well. So Tara, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Tara, can you tell us a little bit about what you do in your role?
Yes, sure. I am currently the Director of Strategic Initiatives and Communication, and I'm responsible for planning, managing, and executing cross-functional projects that align with our long-term goals.
What happens when a child walks or a family walks through the door?
Our mission is threefold: treatment, mentoring, and research. Treatment, the education of people with autism and their families. We don't just treat a child with autism, we treat the family who's affected with autism. Mentoring, we mentor other professionals and educate them to not only do this effectively within the Institute, but to go outside of our walls and do this for others, an extension and expansion of the services. And research, we participate in and contribute to the literature and the research on science-based autism intervention to expand the field. What does it look like when a student comes to us? So it really, the structure of it looks the same for most students, but the specifics are always very different. Every student that comes to us is as different symptomatically as they are physically. So there is absolutely no cookie cutter approach. There's no one size fits all. We look at the needs of the family surrounding the student when they come to us, and we set goals and objectives for that student's upcoming 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, based on what the family tells us is important to them.
Wow.
So it's very applied in that way. It's not important that a child learns to display a skill at school. It's far more important that that child learns how to display the skill with their families, in their communities. So it's applied behavior analysis.
Why the decision to limit the students to 30?
We're intentionally small, and the reason for that is to ensure and protect the quality of our services. It's definitely tempting for a program to explode into larger numbers. Making sure that the system variables that are in place to ensure the rights of each student are there in larger numbers, I think is much more challenging. And I think that what we're delivering is a quality over a quantity on the day-to-day, but a quality that leads to quantity in the fact that we can help children develop the independence that they need and the success that they need to be re-entered into their public school systems. That's our goal. Graduate children into back to the public school system, and then someone else fills that space. That coupled with graduating into adulthood with far less need for additional supports.
So how old is a child when they come to you?
We can accept students as early as diagnosis, and for some that's 2 years old, but the public school system begins supporting placement with us at the age of 3.
Wow. What would you say is the some of the obstacles and challenges that your institute goes through?
So there's one, it's kind of funny at this point story about a challenge that we faced. A part of what our long-term goals are to serve individuals throughout the lifespan. And we have a hydroponic farm called Three Meadows Farm, where it's a social enterprise. And the goal of that social enterprise is to provide job training services and work opportunities, employment opportunities for adults with autism. We were ready to start serving our restaurant customers, and then COVID hit and forced a shutdown. So we were ready to start, and everything stopped. So when the restaurant business did reopen, it had changed as well. So now the buyers were looking for different products. They were looking for different supply methods. So instead of remaining rigid and sticking to our business model as it stood, we pivoted.
Okay.
And we started growing out the components for what would become our paradise salad, and expanded the microgreens portion of the business, because now that was what was meeting customer demand.
Oh, wow.
So very long story short, that challenge actually made us stronger. And the reason it made us stronger is because it helped us understand how to be more nimble and practice that. And it helped us gain the reputation that we have today of being a mission-focused but adaptable organization.
That's fantastic. How did this come about? Like what, how did the concept of the salad come about, and is this being given to the students who are there?
So we have, this is over the river and through the woods, this kind of story here, how this came about. Down the street from the Institute. Okay. So the Institute is on Burnt Mills Road in Bedminster. A mile down the road was Three Meadows Farm, and it was owned by the Rupert family. Some of our students were interning there, learning some job skills on the farm.
Wow.
I think it was 5 or 6 students at that point, and they decided that they were going to sell their farm. And our executive director thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do to help support these kids who are already established learning these skills at that farm? And very long story short, they partnered with us and helped us buy that farm.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So that we could not only continue to develop the work skills that are necessary on the land farm, but also now build hydroponic greenhouses that can serve customers throughout the seasons, because it's 4 seasons that you can grow, and have very routine job tasks to do that some might find a little bit maybe boring, but people with autism sometimes find very comforting. Yeah. So that's the very long story of how we got to have greenhouses. It's important, I think, to understand that sometimes teaching skills may take a bit longer for a person with autism to learn them independently, right? So starting to figure out what does a child like to do or think that they might want to do into adulthood earlier than might be typical, age 14, talking with parents, what do you think your child's strengths are? What do you think their interests are? And then starting kind of that job sampling at age 15, 16, just as you or I would have had a part-time job, deciding again, what do I like? What am I excelling at? What do I want to try harder for? Making those decisions at those younger ages so that in adulthood, it's not a cliff. It doesn't just start at 21. We are, rooted in and deeply embedded in the science and the principles of applied behavior analysis. But I think what defines us is the fact that we are able to deliver intervention with compassion and love. And I think that's what draws parents to our program. That and the partnership that we deem essential with our parents. Because as I've said before, we don't just treat a child with autism, we treat the family with autism. So our parent training model is unique. We ask parents to come into the school, receive hands-on training about how to help their child be successful, because we don't pretend to be the only experts that should be around the child each day. Their parents are with them, as you said, 80% of their day, right? Not at school for 80% of their lifetime. Right. So it's essential that parents become the teachers that their kids need them to be throughout their lifetime. So parents come into school, they receive the hands-on training there. We go into the community and into the homes with the parents to provide the parent training and support in those environments to help the child be successful. And it's really it's a whatever, whenever approach. The parents identify the what and the where, and we make it happen, whether that's going to a religious service to help a child be successful there, helping a child be successful by sleeping through the night, helping a child navigate a grocery store, whatever, whenever. decided by the parents what applies best for their family, so that the parents can walk away feeling confident to do this with their child for the going forward and to generalize their skills to new situations.
Wow. And is it one teacher per child?
Yes.
Or?
Yep, so we have a one-to-one, very rich student-to-teacher ratio. And that every child has one home programmer as well that is in charge of their home programming, that provides the training to their parents. On top of that, we have one teacher trainer for every 5 teachers. And we've got 3 BCBA level PhDs in the organization as well.
What does BCBA stand for?
The Board Certified Behavior Analyst. It doesn't feel like training. It's not all done in workshops, and it's done in vivo, real life situations.
It's almost like practical applications of whatever it is that they're doing to help them navigate through the day. And, you know, when you think that each child is getting a one-on-one training from a teacher, now what if the teacher is stumbling and not sure quite what to do? Now you've got somebody training the teacher. So that's
something else that's important to note too, in each classroom, for each student, every 45 minutes, teachers change, they rotate. And that's to help students generalize their skills across different people. So that you're not only learning to do shoe tying with Susie.
Tell me, what makes you proud?
Yeah. So I started working for the Institute 25 years ago. And I had been working in Manhattan and in marketing. And for some family reasons, I decided to refocus and kind of reorient my career focus to autism intervention. That focus change was supposed to be temporary, however, but a quarter of a decade later, I'm still here. Of a century later, I'm still here. And I think the reason for that, in one word, is outcomes. So I know that the results that we're making for families are real. They're not just based on good intentions and anecdotes. We take data, we analyze it, and we adjust accordingly. So I have confidence that every minute of dedication, time, effort that I put into this work, is actually making a real difference in a child's life and in a family's life. I'm very happy to just play some small part in making that happen for people.
Beyond what we can see from your website, tell us what was the passion behind the founders deciding to create this model?
Sure. So I think something that you won't see on the website about that story is the idea that the Institute was built on a pay-it-forward foundation. The founding families made extraordinary sacrifice to ensure the Institute's financial footing for the first 2 years of its existence. And for some, that meant taking 2 jobs or 3 jobs to make that happen. Our founding and current executive director, Dr. Kevin Brothers, left his family in Kansas to move to New Jersey to devote himself fully to setting up and founding Somerset Hills Learning Institute's education program. And they did that together, not just for their families, they did it for all of the families who would come after. Now that spirit still exists to this day at the Institute. Our staff continue to contribute to the research, which expands the field and advances the field. Our parents commit each year to the essential annual fundraising to help us bridge our deficit, again, year over year. And that's because I think everybody at the Institute understands that we're not just serving the present, we're strengthening the future for generations to come.
That is fantastic. So maybe this is a good segue into my question about what does the organization really need? If there's one thing that you can think that the Institute would really need, what would that be?
Yeah, so I think it would be really easy for any representative, for any nonprofit to come to you and say, funding, right? And while that's very important, don't mistake me, that's very important. I think that I'd like to answer it a little differently, and I think what we could use more of is more championship, more champions of our mission, more people to give of their time, their talent, their voice, their influence to help us grow. And for some, that's gonna mean attending fundraising events. For others, it might mean lending a hand in the greenhouses or introducing us to a potential partner or helping make the decision makers at the federal, state, and local level understand our emotional and economical value. When we increase and help children become more independent and send them back to their sending school district, we're providing a great benefit to the taxpayers and the communities, and Champions will help to amplify that message.
What is the legacy you would like to see this institute leave?
I would like to see the institute be the gold standard that other organizations seek to emulate, but not just in the education years. I'd like to see that through the lifespan. So from early intervention through the education years into job training opportunities, adult day habilitation, and residential programming that supports independence and dignity. But with legacy requires sustainability. And that's why our $10 million sustainability campaign is so important. It's not just a fundraising goal. It's a commitment to permanence. It's setting the Institute up with the financial strength to not only protect its current programming, but to expand us into the lifespan services that we know we need to ensure that we're here and families can count on us for decades to come.
So helping these families as the children age?
These families and many more to come. So autism is a lifelong disability. Regrettably, it doesn't stop at age 21. And services are continually needed. You don't want to ever see a parent who says to you these words, I have lost the luxury of dying because I don't know what will happen to my son or daughter. I want the Institute to have an answer to, we will be there. This organization will exist and you can rest comfortably.
What you just said is probably the fear, the concern of every family who knows that their child will need some help even long after they're gone. I hope you found this a very valuable and informative interview. Until next time, see you.
Thank you.